Hello, the name is Daman Devsu, your host for my weekly show, My Top Tips. Every Wednesday, 9:30 a.m. IST used to be the time. For past few weeks, I've changed this to 9 a.m. IST, and my apologies for 3 minutes delay this morning. Also, continuing with an experiment that rather than using some slides in this talk for the last 3 episodes, I've been experimenting with reading a chapter from one of my books. 10 books published, available globally, 11th ready to be released by the end of March this year. Today, it's chapter 13 from my 10th book, My Experiments with Third Party Risk Management. And chapter 13 is Vendor Selection Tips. Selecting the right vendors is crucial for maintaining a robust and efficient supply chain, ensuring quality service delivery and minimizing risks. So, some tips through this chapter from the book, My Experiments with Third Party Risk Management. So, first step is to define the requirements and objectives. Within that, first of all, identify needs. Clearly define what products or services you need from the vendor. Specify technical requirements, quality standards, and expected outcomes. Then set objectives. Establish clear objectives for the vendor relationship, such as cost reduction, quality improvement, innovation, and or risk mitigation. Then develop detailed specifications, in which I am saying create comprehensive specifications for the products or services needed. Include performance criteria, compliance requirements, and delivery timelines. Second step will be conduct market research. Within that, first step is then identify potential vendors. Use various sources such as industry reports, trade associations, and online directories to identify potential vendors. Then evaluate market trends. Understand market trends, pricing structures, and emerging technologies to make informed decisions. After that, check references and reviews. Look for reviews, testimonials, and references from other clients to gauge the vendor's reputation and reliability, its ability to provide you products or services. Third step will be pre-qualification and shortlisting. So set pre-qualification criteria. Establish criteria for pre-qualifying vendors such as financial stability, industry experience, certifications, and regulatory compliance. These certifications may include ISO 9001 for quality management system, to 27001 to 22301 today, to ISO 42001, which is artificial intelligence management system. Compliance may be with respect to the environmental requirements. Then create a vendor shortlist or shortlist the vendors. Based on pre-qualification criteria, create a shortlist of vendors that meet your initial requirements. These are initial requirements. The fourth major step in this discussion about vendors within third-party risk management, the broad area. Fourth, point is request for proposal or RFP or request for information or RFI. So prepare these RFP or RFI documents. Develop comprehensive RFP or RFI documents detailing your requirements, evaluation criteria, and submission guidelines. Then distribute this RFP and RFI to shortlisted vendors and provide a timeline for submission. So, what you're doing here is working smartly. You are reducing your scope. You have already shortlisted few vendors to which you will send this RFP or RFI. You will not send this to the whole world. You don't want to. You don't have time and effort to evaluate so many. Then, when you have received responses within the set timeline, start the evaluation process. Assess the responses based on predefined criteria such as technical capabilities, pricing, service levels, and compliance. Fifth major step is assess vendor capabilities. Within that, there will be technical, financial, for example. So, evaluate the vendor's technical capabilities and expertise. Ensure they have the necessary skills, technology, and infrastructure to meet your requirements. Assess the vendor's financial health by reviewing financial statements, credit ratings, and financial ratios. Also check their operational capacity. Check the vendor's production capacity, scalability, and ability to handle large or complex orders. In all these discussions, please do not forget the business continuity expectations requirements from the vendors. The next step, which is number 6, is to evaluate risk factors for with the vendor. Conduct a thorough risk assessment covering financial, operational, compliance, and reputational risks. Evaluate the vendor's risk mitigation strategies, including business continuity plans, as I said earlier also, disaster recovery processes, and security measures. Data handling, data privacy, data security, very important features these days. Ensure the vendor complies with all relevant laws, regulations, and industry sectors standards. Sorry. Number 7 is to assess quality and performance. So evaluate the vendor's quality management systems such as ISO certifications and adherence to quality standards. Review the vendor's performance metrics, including delivery times, defect rates, and customer satisfaction scores, as you do for yourself, and I hope that you do for yourself. The customer satisfaction measurement, that the same you have to look for your vendors also, whether they do it and how well. Conduct site visits and audits to assess the vendor's facilities, processes, and adherence to quality standards. I have gone across companies, countries, industry sectors, and I am able to see in first trip, first discussion, or first round, or walk of the facility, that there are some gaps, some glaring gaps also. Point number 8 coming up in this discussion is to consider cost and value. Nothing comes free in this world. So you need to spend a lot of time on this cost and value. So perform a detailed cost analysis, including unit prices, total cost of ownership, and hidden costs, if any. Consider the overall value proposition, including the vendor's ability to deliver innovative solutions, improve efficiency, and support strategic goals, your strategic goals. And then negotiate. Negotiate favorable terms and conditions, including pricing, payment terms, delivery schedules, and service levels. Point number nine, to evaluate cultural fit and communication. Very important. Otherwise, your third party risk increases. Assess the cultural fit between your organization and the vendor. Ensure that the vendor's values, ethics, and working styles align with yours. If not, then this relationship should not be entered into. Evaluate the vendor's communication practices, responsiveness, and willingness to collaborate. In this, responsiveness is very important. I would strongly recommend that you keep a parameter in performance evaluation around responsiveness also. Effective communication is essential for a successful relationship. Consider the vendor's approach to relationship management, including their commitment to building long term partnerships and addressing issues proactively. Very easy to say that this is not a vendor, this is a partner, but there's a huge difference between these two, and this needs to be developed over time. Point number 10, I'm saying, is pilot testing and trials. So conduct pilot tests before committing to a long term contract. Conduct pilot tests or trials to evaluate the vendor's capabilities in a real world scenario. Monitor the vendor's performance according to the set parameters during the pilot phase and gather feedback from relevant stakeholders. These may be internal stakeholders, these may be external stakeholders also. Assess the results of the pilot tests and determine if the vendor meets your expectations and requirements. Point number 11 is to formalize the contract. Very important point. Spend a lot of time and effort on this in finalizing the contract, in writing the contract. So, draft detailed contracts that clearly outline the terms and conditions, including scope of work, pricing, delivery schedules, performance metrics, and penalties for non compliance. Include service level agreements to define performance standards, your expectations. SLAs should cover areas such as response times, uptime guarantees, and quality standards. Always create two sets, one for the BAU, business as usual, when there is no disaster, no crisis, and the other for BCM. Some experts in the world may have difference of opinion on this point. This is a topic that needs a lot of time separately. So today I'm only saying that there should always be two sets of SLAs, one for BAU, one for BCM. Ensure that the contract complies with all relevant laws and regulations. Seek legal advice to address any potential issues or ambiguities. Point number 12 in this discussion is around establishing governance and monitoring. Establish a governance structure to manage the vendor relationship, including roles, responsibilities, authorities, and escalation procedures. Use monitoring tools. So, technology is not bad. Use, I say, exploit technology to your benefit for monitoring and performance dashboards to track the vendor's performance against agreed upon matrices and SLAs. Conduct regular performance reviews and feedback sessions. So, this feedback is also very important. Not just review, not just seeking, but providing also. The vendor may need guidance from you. So, to address any issues and continuously improve or continually improve the relationship. Point number 13 is plan for contingencies and exit. At the moment I say exit, it gives an idea that we are coming to the close of the talk today's episode, which is episode number 117. Develop contingency plans to address potential disruptions such as a vendor insolvency, supply chain disruptions, or quality issues. Define an exit strategy in the contract to ensure a smooth transition if the vendor relationship needs to be terminated. Needs to be terminated due to any reason. Include terms for data transfer, knowledge sharing, and continuity of services. The vendor is an insider risk. Again, a big topic to be talked separately in another episode. But as of now, this top tip that the vendor, each vendor, is an insider risk for you. Point number 14 is foster continuous improvement or continual improvement. Encourage vendors to propose innovative solutions and improvements. This is how they become part and parcel. They become the partners. Foster a collaborative environment where both parties can benefit from shared knowledge and expertise. So this has to be win-win solution for situation for both parties, you as well as your vendors. Work with vendors to develop performance improvement plans if they fall short of expectations. So mistake doesn't mean cut the throat, throw them out. Develop the improvement plans with them. Provide support and resources to help them meet your standards. Invest in a regular training and development for both your team and the vendor's team to ensure enhanced skills, knowledge, and collaboration. So, by following these comprehensive vendor selection tips, 14, as many as 14 I have give you, from chapter 13 of my book published earlier, My Experiments with Third Party Risk Management. By following these comprehensive vendor selection tips, you, organizations, can build strong, reliable, and strategic vendor relationships that drive business success and mitigate risks. With this, I would like to close today's episode of my weekly show, My Top Tips. Every Wednesday, 9 a.m. IST is a changed time. If you have any questions about today's discussions about vendor selection, third party selection, or about resilience as a whole, please feel free to write to me and I'll be happy to respond. Logging off, your host, Daman Dev Sood. I look forward to seeing you all every Wednesday. Thank you. Bye bye.